Have you ever thought about how a promise can change someone's life in unexpected ways? And what if that promise leads to an unexpected and painful outcome? Imagine making a vow so serious that it could transform your life in ways you could never have imagined. Today, we'll explore the story of a courageous leader who made a promise to God, believing it would ensure a great victory. But what happened next was far beyond what he expected. The passage guiding our reflection comes from Judges 11, verse 30-31. And Jephthah made a vow to the Lord and said, "If you will indeed deliver the people of Ammon into my hands, then whatever comes out of the doors of my house to meet me when I return in peace from the people of Ammon shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up as a burnt offering." Now, let's dive into this fascinating story and discover together how this promise transformed the life of this leader in a painful and unexpected way. Are you ready to learn about Jephthah's fate? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Continue exploring the deep and rich stories of the Bible. Jephthah's story begins with a challenging foundation. He was the son of Gilead and a woman who was not his legitimate wife. The Bible describes Jephthah in Judges 11, and his birth was marked by rejection and hardship. Gilead, his father, had children with his legitimate wife, but Jephthah was a son of a concubine, which created an environment of hostility and exclusion for him. Jephthah's half-brothers, who were children of Gilead's legitimate wife, did not accept. They saw Jephthah as an intruder, a constant reminder of their father's extramarital relationship. As they grew older, the brothers demanded that Jephthah leave the house and forced him to move away. They expelled him, saying he would have no share in his father's inheritance. The rejection from his brothers and the exclusion from the inheritance were deeply painful for Jephthah. Jephthah's situation is a clear example of how rejection and prejudice can profoundly mark a person's life. Instead of letting himself be defeated, Jephthah sought to forge a new path for himself. He settled in the land of Tob, an area east of the Jordan River. Despite the adversities, Jephthah became a leader among those who had also been marginalized, forming a group of loyal followers. After being rejected by his brothers and living in a distant land, Jephthah could not have imagined how drastically his fate would change. Israel's situation was becoming increasingly dire. People were under threat from the Ammonites, a neighboring nation preparing to invade and dominate the region. Desperation took hold of the Israelites, urgently needed a strong and fearless leader. In a moment of great need, the elders of Gilead, the land where Jephthah had been born, recognized that they needed someone with courage and military skills to lead the defense against the Ammonites. They remembered Jephthah, who had distinguished himself as a leader with remarkable skills and a respected strategist. Even though he had been expelled and rejected, Jephthah had demonstrated his leadership ability in Tob, and his reputation had reached the ears of the Israelites. Faced with a desperate situation, the elders of Gilead sought out Jephthah and invited him to return and lead Israel's army against the Ammonites. They recognized that Jephthah's ability to mobilize and command men was exactly what they needed to face the threat. This invitation was a significant acknowledgement of Jephthah's value and skills, despite his troubled past. Upon receiving the invitation, Jephthah made a condition. He demanded a firm commitment that if he succeeded in saving Israel, he would become the leader of Gilead. The elders agreed, understanding that Jephthah was the best hope for the survival and security of the people. This condition was also a way for Jephthah to ensure that his leadership would be respected, and that he would have a significant role in restoring order in Israel. Before accepting the challenge, Jephthah made a vow to God, promising that if he achieved success, he would offer as a sacrifice the first thing that came out of his house upon his return. This vow was a demonstration of his faith and commitment to God, but also carried a significant risk. Jephthah was willing to sacrifice anything to fulfill his promise to God, reflecting the seriousness with which he viewed his mission. Jephthah, now the leader of Israel's army, faced the Ammonites with bravery and determination. Under his leadership, the Israelite army achieved a decisive victory against the enemies. It was a moment of great celebration and relief, but Jephthah was about to face one of the most painful challenges of his life. Upon returning home, Jephthah was filled with gratitude and hope. He had fulfilled his promise to God and had saved Israel from a grave threat. However, he was about to face the cost of his vow. Remembering the promise he had made, Jephthah prepared to fulfill the vow he had made to God, to offer as a sacrifice the first thing that came out of his house. When Jephthah arrived home, the first to come out to greet him was his only daughter, a young woman full of life and joy. Her appearance was a devastating blow to Jephthah. He had made a vow in a moment of great tension and desperation, without anticipating the personal consequences. Now, what should have been a moment of celebration and gratitude turned into deep mourning. Jephthah's grief was immense. His daughter, aware of the vow and understanding the gravity of the situation, showed remarkable courage. Instead of rebelling or despairing, she accepted her fate with notable maturity and dignity. She only asked for time to bid farewell and mourn her youth and the life she was about to lose. This moment is described in Judges 11:36-40. The Bible recounts that Jephthah's daughter went to the mountains with her friends to lament her virginity, a sign that the tragedy was not just the sacrifice itself, but also the loss of the chance to live a normal and fulfilling life. After this period of lamentation, the vow was fulfilled. The Bible does not provide a definitive clarification on what happened afterward. Some believe that the daughter was sacrificed, which contradicts biblical principles of not making human sacrifices. Others suggest that she dedicated her life to the service of God, remaining a virgin. The story reveals the courage and moral dilemmas faced by this leader, showing how impulsive decisions can have serious consequences. Despite the controversies, he is remembered for his achievements and for leading Israel for 6 years. Judges 12:7. Later, the prophet Samuel mentioned his saving role in Israel, 1 Samuel 12, verse 11, and he is listed among the heroes of faith in the Epistle to the Hebrews, Hebrews 11, verse 32. And now we want to know, where are you watching this story from? Share in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to not miss our upcoming explorations of the fascinating stories of the Bible. Thank you for watching and for being part of this journey with us. See you in the next video.